So the fact that the England national team, they basically turned him away. They basically turned their back on him because of the baggage. Is Jamaica making the right decision in basically welcoming him with open arms? What kind of message are we sending to the sisters and the daughters who will be going out to the national stadium to support the Reggae Boys? Are we then a nation where, regardless of the situation, because we want to win these representatives, because when you go out there and you put on the national color, whether it is you're a politician, whether it is you're an athlete, you're a representative of the Jamaica national team, you're a representative of Jamaica. Are we saying then that we're okay with football players because they're football players abusing females? Do you think it's sending the wrong message, for lack of a better term?
I can see where it can be perceived as such, to be fair. Um, Along the lines of good character and citizenship behavior, it doesn't flow well or bode well with what we as Jamaicans stand for, right? But like you said, we've seen, and not to take it too local, we've seen there's a lot of talk when we were growing up in school where people always talk about the Dakasta Cup players going to school. They are the ones who never had good grades. They are the ones who skip classes. They're the one who indulge in bad behavior, right? So it's always this thing associated with footballers at the highest level and at the amateur level where you don't not necessarily associate good character and good behavior with majority of football players. That's prevalent in Jamaican society, as we both know. However, I don't think across the board that we as people of Jamaica stand for that. I think they're just more or less looking at it like the topic reads redemption. He's proved himself for the past 5, 6 months in France. He's playing well. It seems as if he has
From a
learned.
footballing perspective, though, playing devil's advocate,
Yeah.
like how do we know he's redeemed himself?
Behaviorally, there's no way, there's no way for us to prove that behaviorally he's a different person and that he has learned anything from what transpired. I do think, though, from a football perspective, the level at which he's operating, Jamaica is looking at his level of talent as something that could change it for us, right? Um, the comment that came in said Mason Greenwood will stop crime in Jamaica anyhow him start score goal. We Jamaicans live in the moment a lot, so I tend to believe these things are truthful. However, on a larger scale, I do feel as if he should come and put his print on the national team, produce what we've been waiting for. It will galvanize the group of people in the country, and it will, for certain, change the way how people look at him. If he could get if he could get involved, indulge in the culture, people will look at him in a different way. Obviously, we are familiar, sorry, with some of the, the criticism and the stuff that come with the British media. Yeah. Not to say a mistake in England is not a mistake in Jamaica, but when you make a mistake on those grounds, the mass media and the type of attention that some of those things get is different when you compare to someone who does the same thing in Jamaica. Not to take away from the magnitude of anything that he has done, right? It's
All
damaging
right,
for anyone to know, but I just feel as though it could be redemption. Likewise, it could be hypocrisy, right? It just
all right.
depends on how we look at it. But from a football perspective, I do think his talent warrant the chance, if I'm being completely honest. But as a nation, it can be damaging.
Well, I don't think his talent was ever in question, and I'm gonna go over to the comment section now because I know folks have been in the comment section sharing their thoughts. So let's go through some of these questions before we get back to the discussion. And I know most YouTubers, they're super excited, they're super happy that Mason Greenwood is coming to represent the national team. They don't care about anything outside of the football. But again, we have to look at it beyond the football because Mason Greenwood is beyond football, right? He's not just a footballer. And what we saw in England when this news broke out was A lot of the females saying they were going to boycott games, stuff like that. They were protests outside, that sort of thing. So no one is above the law. No one is above the law, and we do not condone violence against women. We don't condone violence against anyone for that matter. But again, in this situation, we condemn violence against women. Lee Young said that Mason Greenwood, you should draw a parallel with Benjamin Mendy. Well, Benjamin Mendy's situation was a little bit different from Mason Greenwood's. It was a little bit different. Why the JFF are call up no good angling? That yet okay. Well, in this situation, angling situation, like similar situation, but as I said, like going to a player who was turned away because a country didn't want the baggage, and taking a player who was already a part of the setup is two different things, right? So one player was turned away because another country didn't want the baggage, basically. Because had this situation not transpired, I promise you, Mason Greenwood would be a part of the England setup, right? It probably would be Manchester United top player this season. Is this Mason Greenwood is moot? So this means let me be this. All right. So continuing because as we continue to dissect this situation, I personally think it's one of those. Everybody is saying that he did this and he did that. Are they certain that he really did what they say? Well, his partner came out and she released voice notes that were clearly him. She released images of herself, and I think there was a short video as well. There was a short video as well with him in there. So didn't deny it. He didn't deny it, and the case was dropped because apparently they got back together. My word, Jamaica, welcome top strike, and let us kick out England teeth. Know yourself.